Hey, welcome back to the Raw Intuition channel on YouTube. And this is going to be a YouTube exclusive episode. Usually I post to the podcast, but because this is like mostly about YouTube, I'm mostly gonna leave it on here and I'm gonna do screen share and I'm gonna show you the best astrologers on YouTube to learn astrology from. And so I want to be very clear that I'm extremely biased because everybody is. All humans are very biased and probably animals too. But anyways, so I've been watching YouTube for like ever, watching astrology on YouTube forever. I also want to be clear that I did not completely learn astrology from YouTube. I started with books at the library. Then I found Cafe Astrology and Astro.com and all of those things and apps I got later, but YouTube then came in probably about 10 years ago, I think. And these astrologers that are going to be the ones that have stuck with me through the ages. And so I also am going to pick my top favorites from the different types of astrology that I study. And then I might make follow-up videos and stuff. So there is definitely a lot of YouTuber astrologers on YouTube, like a crazy, crazy amount. And there just keeps getting more and more and more every day. And so I wanted to definitely give credit to the people who have been doing it a very long time and have really put the work in and earned their reps and do a lot of readings, and that I have, for whatever reason, keep watching them and I keep coming back to them. And I found their information the most helpful and most ethical. So that's important too, is finding an ethical astrologer, because that aligns with your values and your ethics, which might be different than mine. That's fine. You are allowed to disagree with me if you find other best ones or feel like I'm totally leaving out the greats who have been around forever and have a good long-standing and have like a whole course worth of information already posted. Please go ahead and link them below. So with that, I'm going to do some screen sharing to show you some of the channels while I talk about all of this stuff. Okay, so here is my thing. So the one that comes to mind when I think of tropical Placidus astrologers who have been doing this forever is the Divine Venus. And she is a little bit like, she's easy to learn from. Venus. Ooh, yeah, her numerology episodes are really good. I really liked those. So let's see. The Divine Venus, she's been around for like, I don't know, 8 to 10 years. I've totally seen her forever. I kind of would always go back and forth with watching her. I haven't seen every single one of her things, but she sticks through it. Okay. And she's pretty dope. She's pretty straightforward. She keeps it real. This is her. So you want to subscribe to her. This is my new channel, so I guess that's why I'm not subscribed to her. But definitely subscribe if you want to learn tropical Placidus astrology. She doesn't really sway from that. Sometimes she'll talk about other things. Look, this one says it was 8 months ago. It must have just been like her more popular video. Astrology, Your Life Map, full mini doc series. But she does all the, signs and through the houses, and you can get a pretty good idea of how to do a basic natal chart reading from her. Now, keep in mind, there's lots of different kinds of astrology, and she does birth chart readings, okay? So that means it's based on the time you were born, and it's based on Western, also besides it being a natal chart reading, it's based on Western tropical Placidus house. So there's different house systems and all of that. I might make a separate video just to like explain all the different house systems and like, all that. But that's what you're going to get with her, Placidus. She's Libra, I believe. Libra sun in the 7th house, I think. I believe that's what she is. And so you can see she kind of sways from not just doing that. I really liked her Saturn return recent video where she talks about the different Saturn return. Oh yeah, she did a Placidus versus whole sign, which was really cool because I've been studying, that's where I'm at, where I went through the different house systems, and I decided that I was going to study whole sign and Placidus and Vedic astrology because I am crazy. And most astrologers will tell you not to do that because it will kind of just mess with your head. And so, but I don't care. That's what I'm doing. And it's a lot to remember. She got her election prediction wrong, which is her explaining why she got it wrong. So the best and worst planets. Oh, astrocartography is like learning where to live based on astrology, which I've been trying to learn recently too. Interception. So that's why I use Placidus. It's probably just because of interceptions. So that's the big difference between Placidus and whole sign, is that you can have a sign completely inside of another house. And she explains that really well here. Okay, so that's the divine Venus. She's kind of like she kind of has like this cool attitude, like she doesn't care about anything, and she gets in a lot of trouble for that. And you know, people, I don't know, she'll like talk shit to her subscribers. It's pretty funny. So she's very entertaining. She like gets into drama with other astrologers and she calls them out. And so there's like this whole drama thing she has going on. She's been doing it forever, and she will remind you. And she claims to be the first astrologer to ever have been on YouTube, which I don't know. I think Deborah Silverman's been around a long time. I never really got into watching her too much, but I do watch Deborah Silverman sometimes. I can look her up real quick. Deborah Silverman astrology. So she's an OG in the game, you know, so she's been doing this a long time. As like, yeah, this is my brand new channel that apparently I didn't subscribe to anybody yet, but I am subscribed to her on my personal channel. And just want to show you, she does some really easy, quick videos. She did a funny video with the divine Venus where they were like sitting together, like acting out what the signs were like, and that was hilarious. It was like 5 minutes. I don't remember what it's called, but yeah, she does a lot of these basic things. So these are all really good to go through. I do have a friend who really likes her. I agree that she's good. I just, for some reason, I think it's because she does such short videos, and I really like the in-depth and to talk for a long time. As you can tell, I talk for a long time, I listen for a long time. Goes both ways in my world. So that's Placidus astrology. I think Deborah Silverman is Placidus. I'm pretty sure. So when you go and Google like free natal birth chart, which if you don't have yours, you should do that on like astro.com. I used to say cafe astrology when I was like 15, but yeah, astro.com is basically like where everybody puts you to. I use apps on my phone, which I'll make something different to talk about that, but you should go look that up. It's free, it's easy, there's tons of free apps, but it's all going to be Placidus. To change the house system, you have to go to settings and do that. So for whole sign, this is the ultimate. If you want to feel like you're taking a doctorate in astrology, this astrology podcast, which is called the Astrology Podcast. And I don't know what podcast they're on. I'm pretty sure that it's on most of them. So I'm going to subscribe to you, the Astrology Podcast. And so one thing I did that was really a jerk move and I didn't think about it because I was like really young, is I would watch all these videos and I wouldn't like or like subscribe or comment or anything for like years and years and years. So I really try to make up for that now. And I'm like, you know, making sure that I comment and like and because it really helps them. And it's really, really hard to be an astrologer. It takes years. No one can master astrology. It's just one of those lifelong things, just like anything. You can't know everything about astrology. So if you go watch a few videos and you go around saying that you're an expert in astrology, other astrologers are gonna laugh at you because even like astrologers who've been studying for 50 years will tell you that they feel like they don't really know everything there is to know, because then you have to know everything there is to know about life, and nobody does. So anyways, that's like my side rant about that. So just like, don't think that you can go watch a couple of these videos and like not earn your keep, dude. Like, people have been doing this forever, and I see all these new astrologers, like people come up and they make freaking YouTube videos, or they're like making all these posts and they're like, I'm an astrologer, I've been studying for a year. And I'm like, maybe if you're a prodigy, but I'd really like to see you read a birth chart accurately, or like know how to switch different cultural contexts, or just whatever. But this is the Astrology Podcast. All of their podcasts are like 2 to 3 hours long. They're super intense. And I watch them. I listen to them. Yep, because I'm a nerd. And that's what I do. I don't watch television. I don't watch whatever it is that cool people watch. This is what I watch. And I usually do it, on my phone while I'm doing chores and, taking a shower, going to the gym, going to sleep. Whenever it is, so either this or music. I really need some good music. If you know of some great playlists for like wannabe woke people, please put that in my comments. I would appreciate that, because like none of the music seems to do it for me most days. Anyway, so they talk about anything and everything astrology. You can see Defining the Void of Course Moon. I did not watch that yet because it was posted 6 hours ago, and I will be watching that when I'm done with this. Tarot and astrology. I did listen to this. This was fantastic. I have a tarot. This came out 5 days ago, and I was like, oh my God, when I saw it posted. I watched it right away. It was so worth it. I have a tarot and astrology where I talk with my friend about the corresponding archetypes, but this is a very good in-depth explanation of like what that is, and how they came up with the idea to correlate astrology with the tarot, and the just like all that history, the early history of the nodes. I watched that. It was good, because a lot of people describe the nodes in different ways. Vedic is very different than tropical Western astrology. There's like this big thing about saying the nodes are your destiny, and you should go to your node, your north node, and like push away from your south node. And I don't agree with that personally as an astrologer. So I'm really glad they came out with this. And let's see. Explaining astrology to non-astrologers. I did listen to all those. Listen to that. Anyways, this is great. They're really long, okay? There's Kelly Surtees is on here, and I love her. I think I want to be her. No, I'm just kidding. But she does a lot of like paternity, fertility, womanhood astrology, empowerment, happiness astrology, which I really like. I like to study that. I want to do a lot of different things, but holistic healing is probably my area of astrology. And that's one thing you got to know too, is why are you studying astrology? Are you studying it because you want to know just yourself? Are you studying it because you want to know who's going to be the president of the United States, which is like mundane astrology and it affects the whole world? And that's a completely different thing than just looking at your natal chart. And so you want to look for astrologers who know how to do those things and can prove that they know how to do those things. And then you want to follow them. Like when I was looking at the Divine Venus, and she was like, why I got my president prediction wrong. And like all these astrologers feel really pressured to try to make predictions in areas that they don't study. And the Divine Venus doesn't study presidential or election or mundane astrology. She studies natal chart astrology. So she's really good at talking about you and how you are on the inside, and what your life is like and what your mom's like, and your those type of things, which is based on your natal chart. Things like predicting the president of the United States is a little bit more complicated, and if you're not used to doing that and you don't understand what that all entails, then you won't be able to do that. Like I tell people, for instance, it's really complicated to think of if you just know how to do natal chart astrology and you're like, oh, he's going to win. So like, for instance, a lot of people were saying that Trump wasn't going to win because he didn't have a move indicated in his chart. And so everybody knows that when you become president, you move into the White House, right? Because that's how it is, supposedly. And a lot of astrologers were saying there's no move indicated in his chart. So that means he's not going anywhere, so he doesn't win. But we all know that he won and he didn't move in. So technically those astrologers weren't wrong, but if they didn't explain to you how they were coming up with it, then you wouldn't know why they got it wrong. So anyways, that's my long rant for how to pick an astrologer to study by. And I really suggest filling a lot of them out. So for my Vedic people, and I've heard Vedic is not the right term because Vedic shows a religion. And so not all of Eastern astrology, my baby's moving, not all Eastern astrology is of Vedic culture. So there's lots of different Eastern astrology that's very similar. So I just try to say Indian astrology. However, this is my guy. This is my dude, KRS, not KRS-One. That's my husband's dude. But KRS looked at Moon in 5th house in Gemini for Aquarius ascendant. And he has been in the game for like 10 years. I started watching him forever ago. He's basically the only Vedic astrologer I watch. There's a lot of good ones, I'm sure. But this is my guy. I love him. Like, he makes me want to be a Vedic astrologer. Like all of them, though, there's going to be things that I don't agree with. But it's really funny because the Divine Venus and KRS both talk about how they really wanted to be actors originally. And that's like what they wanted to do. There was another girl. Oh, I can't remember her name, but she is an actress and she does some good astrology too. Maybe I'll make another video with like other ones, but today I'm going to focus on these guys. So it's really funny because so the Divine Venus wanted to be an astrologer, right? And I want to look at both of their charts. And so did KRS. He really wanted to be an actor along with the Divine Venus. And around the same time, I don't know if they watch each other's stuff or who did what, but they started, KRS has been doing it for a long time, actually. He's been making like little funny videos. He does all these funny skits and he'll kind of act out little parts and he'll try to like do the character for the different sign or the archetype for that. And he's been doing that forever. And but he made like a full movie called Meeting K2, and it was pretty dope if you're into astrology. I don't know, I'm a nerd, but like it was dope. I liked it. Actually, my husband liked it, and he's like, I've been trying to teach him astrology forever, and he's just like one ear out the other, which I kind of like because it gives me some grounding to like, the rest of the world. But anyways, I think it's funny because they both make like little short films, and she was making these films for a while and then she kind of stopped. I don't know why. She should keep doing it again. Some of them were kind of weird and dark, but sometimes she's kind of weird and dark, and sometimes he's kind of weird and dark, like some of his videos, and sometimes astrology is kind of weird and dark. So, it is what it is. The occult. So, but he does so much cool things. He does like a philosophy hour on his podcast, which I really need to listen to. But I do love a lot of his ethics. Like he doesn't do death astrology. He doesn't do wedding, like sometimes you can take your stuff to an astrologer and say, are we going to be a good match? And in India, that's very, very popular, where they'll say, a lot of places won't even, or a lot of people, or even arranged marriages are based on astrology. So if you have never heard of astrology before, like in other cultures or in a lot of cultures, it's like how they do things. Like you literally can't do something without looking at a chart, like get married. And so he doesn't do that though, which I like. He's definitely Americanized. He's some of the other Indian astrologers, I hate to be like this, but like sometimes because their accent, which is really horrible, don't be a shitty person like me, okay? Like listen to them despite their accent and just, but I'm just used to him and I like him and I think he's funny. I think he's culturally acceptable. Or like he's culturally, he he acts like a hip, he has like a little hip hop thing going on, or a little, he tries to be cool because he is cool. So I'm not trying to be weird about it, but like I kind of like sometimes don't like listening to their accents, or like it doesn't translate right. Like the way that one word translates in that language doesn't quite translate right in English. So I do try to listen though, and I'm trying to get better at that. So don't hate me. But he knows English very well, and he kind of knows the culture and the media and all of those things. So it's very easy to get. He did a Kim Kardashian baby prediction 7 years ago. That's hilarious. I don't know if I went back and watched that. I just don't care about the Kardashians at all. So I don't know if that's another reason to hate me or love me, but whatever it is. So the Vedic, he calls it Vedic. So he's a Vedic astrologer, and he it's very complicated. Okay, so there's like nakshatras, and then there's all these charts and all this stuff. It's very complicated. So it is way, way more complicated, I think, than Western astrology. But that could be debatable because there's lots of layers to everything. And there is some debate about what's more accurate, and I don't get into it. I'm just like, I just test to see what works. Sometimes I do joke that I want to switch to my to just being a Vedic astrologer, but for now I'm a Placidus whole sign astrologer who enjoys to compare and look at Vedic. I will look for further clarification for things, and I sometimes look at people's Vedic charts. He has a really good consultation system though. I did get a reading from him. I want to do a review on that because I love him. I loved his reading. It was very straight to the point and concise, unlike me. I talk forever. He does not. So if you're into that, check him out. So I want to say, okay, so Astrology is amazing. And what's she free? So she tells her story a lot, and she's freaking amazing. But she has a collaboration channel. She is an Aquarius rising like me. I don't know what KRS is. He never talks about his chart. He has no transparency. He doesn't talk about his business. He does sometimes, but I really want to know what his chart is. So if anybody knows what KRS's chart is, please tell me. Anyways, Lada is an Aquarius rising like me. So I identify, except for she looks like a supermodel and I kind of look like a soccer mom. So who likes to eat the snacks from the soccer game. Anyway, she has 2 kids and she does not look like she has 2 children. It is insane. But that's probably because she's Aries sun and I am a Cancer sun. And Cancers tend to be a little bit more round and voluptuous, you know what I mean? So anyways, I love that she does the collaboration. So she really she'll talk about it a lot, that she really does lean on collaborating to lift her up, and it's a big part of her networking and her marketing thing. So she Astrology is kind of like this community of astrologers, and she's like the face of it. because she has a beautiful face. Like, why wouldn't she be the face of it? So this guy, he's freaking amazing. Oh my God, I can't remember his name, but I love him. This dude that she does a whole bunch of readings with, and I'm sorry, I forgot your name, but he's awesome. And let's see, her horoscopes are pretty good. She has all these classes. If you subscribe to her, she sends all this informative emails. I get like tons of information from her all the time. She really puts a lot of other astrologers on the map. This guy, oh my God, he is insane. And I also can't remember his name. I really suck at names, you guys. It's a problem. It's like another reason you can hate me, because just kidding. So this dude is like, I don't know, he's on another level. Like, you just have to check it out to know what I'm talking about. This guy's new. In this video right here, did I just click on it? Oops. So anyway, I was kind of listening to it, and I like got lost. I didn't finish it, but she just checks all these people out and puts them on, and it's really interesting. She's very interesting. She does all the planets through the houses, all the signs through the planets, all the whatever. And she teaches a bunch of courses, and she's definitely a spot where you could get comfortable. I think she has switched. I think she started with Placidus, but I think she switched to whole sign, because she talks about it a lot. And then she has her own channel with her. You can get your chart for free on her channel. I rarely use it just because I use so many apps and her thing's fairly new, but I want to check it out more. But I think she uses whole sign, because it definitely wasn't Placidus when I did my chart on there. I think it's whole sign. So, and she talks about whole sign being very accurate and being very good, and she likes it. I think she likes it better because it doesn't portray her in a certain light. But so Astrolata, she's awesome. And someone new who kind of reminds me of Astrolata and my self is Stormy Grace. And she just came out of nowhere, and she is like making things happen, and I'm like obsessed with her now. So she is freaking amazing. She kind of does the Astrolata thing where she's connecting with all these different astrologers, and she's creating this whole, look at all these astrologers. This chick is amazing too. Sabrina. Oh my God. She is so, and she's young. Like, I don't even think she's had her Saturn return yet, which is rare to have someone who's so good before their Saturn return. She just has this vibe about her that, anyways, I really want to do this chick, the Children's in Astrology. I listened to it yesterday. I really want to get more involved with her. She's friggin' dope. There is Bear Reaver, who is kind of new to the scene, and I'm sure he's been doing it forever. He's just new to my scene. I don't know, but she had him on here. Reaver. I think it's like that. But I got a reading from him, and I should do a review on that. But he was on the Astrology Podcast. That's where I heard about him from. And then I saw him with Stormy Grace, and then I kind of checked out some of his other ones, and I saw him with Sabrina somewhere. And he's really good. And he talks, I really, really would like to connect with him again and talk more about intersectional astrology, which is like, sometimes, astrology can perpetuate biases or not be aware of cultural differences. And that's one thing that he really gets into. And that's one thing I'm like obsessed with. That's why I study different kinds of astrologers in different cultures. And I try to see, what's the difference between a poor, Cancer and a rich Cancer sun, right? Or like, you know, you have to look at the whole chart, but like, how do these placements, you know, play out based on cultural context and based on environment? And I'm really obsessed with that. And there's some things about karma in astrology that come from Indian culture. And so sometimes like those cultures will talk about how you deserve something. And that's one thing that KRS has said in the past, which I think he's taken some of it back, where he's like, if someone, you know, gets beaten by their husband or something, then like that's because of their karma and they did something in a past life to deserve that. And their whole system is based on that. And it's just, there's problematic results from having that, and there's positive results, just like everything else. So I think that there's definitely room for debate and room for conversation that I would like to continue to have around those topics of karma and the use of it in astrology, and how we project that onto our reality, and how we hold people accountable to their karma, and all this stuff. So anyways, I should make links for all of these and put them in there. But I don't know his channel. He doesn't really do anything on his channel because he wants you to go to Patreon, which makes sense because he's not popular enough to get enough views to make money from YouTube. But he's a really good astrologer. And just because you're not popular on YouTube doesn't mean you're not a good astrologer. It just means you're not, you know, you don't have placements to be like media famous, or you're not activated at that time to be media famous. So you really can't make money like that. So if you have a Patreon, then you can make money by people subscribing to that, which I think I'm going to subscribe to his Patreon. I don't really do anybody's. Another one who I check out, these ones haven't been around as long, is Sky. Let's see. Yeah, this person, I don't know how they identify. Let me see. Is amazing. Like, I can just curl up and listen to this voice, and they have the most amazing pictures on here. Esoteric healing, yes, like is the vibe. Healing is the vibe, like the voice, everything is just so powerfully calming. And they do like astrology, tarot, and stuff like that. And so is that just the name of it? Oh, Esoteric Sky. Okay, so the name's Esoteric Sky. March 2021 Pisces season. I think I haven't seen that video, but I really love listening to the archetypes, and he puts like all these interesting details into things that I never thought about before. Like recently I was listening to his Jupiter, and he was talking about Jupiter and how Jupiter can describe parts of your body, and mine was super accurate. My daughter is awake now. She's starting to move. She's starting to move around. She always like wakes up around the end of my video or in the beginning, whatever. So that's Sky. I'm probably missing so many. Oh, Written in the Stars. Maybe. So this person, Rux. Are you okay? Are you okay? You're waking up? So should subscribe to her. So I like her. So she is very interesting. I have found her horoscope readings to be pretty interesting, pretty accurate. She's on my list of people I would like a reading from, for sure. And I also, yeah, for the people I have gotten readings from, I think I want to do a separate video for each of them. And I don't really want to compare them to each other because they're from different systems. So I like to get readings from people with different house systems and just compare. I am looking for a Chinese astrologer, so a YouTube one. So I have studied Chinese astrology, but I haven't really gotten into it on YouTube. So if you have any good links for Chinese astrology, please link that below. I don't know, but there is a crazy amount of YouTubers, and this can open up your door. You definitely don't have to follow or like any of these people if you don't, but it's a way to get into the algorithm, and it'll start feeding you more and more different people. There's one girl that like Scorpio moon, and I forget but I started following her since I was trying to get more information about my daughter who's a Scorpio moon, and that can be a difficult moon to have. So I really wanted a lot of, information. And there was some girl who like basically only talks about Scorpio moon stuff. And I forget what her name is, but stuff like that. So whatever it is that you're interested in, whatever topic, if you want to learn how to predict something, you want to follow predictive astrologies, if you want to study natal and like more psychological, healing type of things, you want to look at those. If you want to study, there's mundane astrology, there's astrocartography, which I'm trying to get into, which is like location astrology, where to move, where to take vacations, where to live, is it the best place for you to live? All of those things. I'm not seeing that girl. So anyway, but as you can see, all of those people are talking about Scorpio moon. So there's like endless amounts of Scorpio moon videos. I'm making a moon reflection series. I like to talk about more philosophy, ethics, and how to use astrology in your daily life, because you have all of the signs and all the archetypes within you. So I try to talk to everyone with every single episode, and talk to that part of you. So there's a Leo part of you. The moon's in Leo today. I did my moon in Leo reflections video, and I'm talking about how to channel. She's like, it's time to cut it, Mom. Like, you always talk for a long time. So I'm gonna take that and go check out the rest of mine. If you see this later on, hopefully I have like a whole bunch more videos. And then, hopefully I have all my reviews and how to do this, and then how I learned astrology at 11 years old, and, all of the things. Okay. So thank you for watching, and please subscribe, show me some support and love so I can keep doing this. Like, comment, share, all of those things. Thank you so much. And I'm going to come here, baby. Come here. Come here, my love. Come here. You say bye to the peoples?